Ever wondered what happens when kids stand up against the woke people? Just watch as this brave kid completely destroys the wokeness.
Hi, my name is Brad Taylor, and I just finished my freshman year at RHS. I've been a part of District 196 schools now for 10 years, and I'm going to give you a glimpse today of what's actually going on inside these schools. Despite the board's attempt to deny it, District 196 schools are quickly becoming a place where promoting activism is actually more important than promoting education. I'll take you back to my first day at RHS this fall. The principal came out and gave us a heartfelt speech about equality and standing together. He began to list countless races, such as Latino, Asian, expressing how much they matter and how important they are. But never once did he mention a race or identity that reflects me, or half the kids that were in the class. Now, members of the board, I know you haven't been to school in a while, and I know none of you, or most of you, don't have any kids left in the school district. But you must admit how uncomfortable it will be to be characterized just by your skin color on the first day of school, and be thought that you were wrong just because of your skin color. So I will never forget the look one of my friends gave me from across the room as we were sitting there listening to this blatant bias being expressed in the so-called equity statement by the leader of our school. To be clear, I don't need you to tell me that I matter, but hearing the condolences given to other races and leaving just one race out, inevitably you'll start to feel like you've done something wrong. And in our principal's attempt to unify us, he instead created unwarranted boundaries and barriers between his students, pitting us against each other based on characteristics that we can't control. In another separate instance, I was told that writing "All Lives Matter" on the whiteboard was political and could be seen as offensive. When I questioned the teacher after class, she told me that she didn't have an answer and she just had to erase it, and it was quickly erased. There are political signs all over RHS, about specific races that matter, specific orientations that matter, and specific perspectives that matter. But when I questioned the RHS administration about how these signs were political, they told me that they were supporting human rights. So when I questioned why the equity statement couldn't represent all students, they told me that to even ask that question was outlandish and offensive. And when I asked why that was, they told me, quote, "Whites have a pretty good situation right now," unquote. So is that not racism? Disregarding my question merely because of the color of my skin? To be honest, after enduring a year of the people in charge telling me that I'm a racist and I'm privileged and pointing out our irreversible differences, I've never noticed race more. And it's becoming the first thing I notice when I meet someone, which has never before been the case. RHS administration confidently told me that RHS students and staff are happy with their equity statement. But from my experience in talking with other students, this is not the case. I know many kids who disagree with their teachers, but they're too scared to stand up because they're worried that their grades will be docked and their learning experience will be affected. My honors government teacher, I'm not going to say his name, but he's mentioned that Democrats care more about all people while Republicans only care about themselves. And he's also inferred to us that socialism is better than democracy. He even had a statue of a socialist leader in his classroom. I've been told by a lot of kids that they just stay silent and adjust their schoolwork to reflect an acceptable opinion to secure a good grade. I've been approached by multiple teachers who have told me in private that they just want to say that they agree with me and they support me standing up, but they can't say it in front of the class for fear of being disciplined by the administration in some way or losing their jobs. There is clearly only one way to think in this district, and that is that they are teaching their kids to shut up if they don't agree. Now, members of the board, I want you to take a good look at yourselves in the mirror tonight and ask, are you really standing up for the equality of all people, or are you just pushing a damaging political ideology on our students? A fellow coworker at my job, who by the way is of color, discreetly told me that the schools seem to be pushing a very leftist agenda in class. This proved that not everyone is happy with your school, and not everyone who isn't happy is white. Now, due to all these instances I've mentioned and many more that I can't fit in this 5-minute speech, I've decided to leave this district and continue school on a private Christian school online. And there will be sacrifices, and I will not get to walk in the graduation ceremony or attend milestones at RHS, but I will be able to learn in an environment that is not intent on punishing me daily for my skin color and political views. Now, regardless of how you take my speech, whether you just shrug it off as malarkey or Fox News talking points, I encourage you to think about it, because someday I'm going to be a leader. I may be the president, a governor, or just a professional golfer, but I will never stop believing that everybody has value, no matter their skin color or personal beliefs. And it's a shame that you're not going to be able to say that I was an alumni of RHS in District 196. Thank you.
The parents were very pleased with this brave kid as they applaud. But the kid isn't the only one standing up against the wokeness. Watch as this mom exposes the woke school and humbles the woke people.
Hello everyone, I've been coming here for 5 years now, and I was going to talk to you about some practical things that I thought you could change about 3210, but I've changed my mind. I've been really confused over the last 5 years as to why we spend 45 minutes to an hour of every public meeting talking about how great everyone is and how great everything is in the schools, and now I've figured it out. I figured it out because all these people came here to defend you all from hurtful words. This is obnoxious. Let me just say, there is one goal for the educational system. It should be to prepare children to enter careers to be productive members of society. It is not a counseling session. It is not a self-help area. It is not somewhere to find yourself, and we should not be led by the children, for goodness sake. The children are called dependents for a reason. They depend on us who have fully developed brains. You cannot feel your way through life. The issues that we are talking about, we are bringing you statistics. We are talking about scholastics. We are talking about funding. We are talking about busing. We are talking about trying to figure out how to make our children be as successful as possible. And I am sure that that is your goal. And what we have been called tonight is what they're claiming that we're saying to children. We're having an adult conversation. There are not children in this room. We aren't going into the schools and calling them names. They call us Marxists and and bigots and everything else under the sun. Well, let me tell you, less than 5% of the entire population of North Carolina identifies as LGBTQ. You guys all claim you want democracy. Well, you know what democracy is? It's the majority plus one. It's 50 plus 1. You know what? More than 50% of the people in this state claim that they believe in God, Almighty God, who made us male and female, God who made marriage between a man and a woman, God who said that we must protect our children. The fact that we can stand up here and we know, we can brag about all of the wonderful graduations, but we know the statistics. 50% of children did not pass their end of grade tests. What are we celebrating? We have children coming up here telling us how horrible the mental health crisis is. Why? Most of us went to public school, and all of our peers are not in mental health crises. We have to ask ourselves, what are we doing to our children? I'm going to say we are discussing things with them that they are not emotionally, intellectually, and morally able to handle. That is what is causing the anxiety. That is what is causing the that is what is causing the confusion. We need our children to be able to be children, to be able to be innocent, to be able to enjoy childhood and not know all of the drama and all of the difficulties in adult life. That is what we want. We want our children to be able to read and write and to think for themselves, and we demand that the children who fear God are protected in your schools.
Now, this was really one brave and strong mom. She couldn't take all that wokeness anymore and stood her ground. But should trans men be in women's bathrooms? Well, watch as a dad stands up against a trans man who wants more wokeness in their school.
I'm the director of Oshkosh Pride. Why, and this will be a rhetorical question that you don't have to answer, but I want you to think about it. Why is this such a roadblock? Why have we spent an hour discussing this? Especially, you say you care about the students, but half of you are not sure what gender is. Especially transgender. I'm a transgender woman. My pronouns are she, her, and I will only accept those pronouns. I will not be addressed any other way. And in the workspace, I'm protected by that. Our students should be too, especially when they're not over 18, don't have a voice. So I'm just imploring you to go beyond what, just really consider, what is this fight really about? Why is it such entrenched? I know we hear a lot about religious liberty, and quite honestly, I grew up in Christian education all through college. I don't remember any of my doctrinal classes mentioning only male and female, and that's the way it should be. If you feel it is, awesome, good. You get to believe that. You don't get to impose those beliefs on anybody else. And that's actually what religious liberty is that your right to believe that is protected, but the other person that identifies as something else is also is a right to be protected. So I guess I'm here to say is, with Oshkosh Pride, we're paying attention. And we're going to be involved in this conversation if it keeps on going. But we've spent an hour on this conversation when clearly there are other issues on this agenda. There are other issues that we need to be doing for students in the area. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm one of those extremists. I'm one of the Moms for Liberty members on Facebook. Yep, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that anybody's even considering.
Could you state your address, please?
My name is Josh Vianola. I live at... Sorry, having a little chat for a while here. Yeah, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you guys are even considering letting bathrooms and locker rooms being co-ed. I don't care how they identify or whatever kind of delusion people live in, whatever kind of mental disease that they have. Boys are boys and girls are girls. It's simple and basic. It's always been that way, and that's why we have separate bathrooms. I'm not going to allow my girls or my boys to shower with the opposite sex because I don't want them fondled or tainted by one of these deranged people sexually. And that's what lingers in these groups of homosexuality and transgenderism is explicit ideology. My daughter goes to Franklin. She brought home books about how it's okay that two parents are in a household and it's okay for boys to be girls and girls to be boys. What kind of delusion are you guys living in? Are people really retarded? We're still having these talks? Like, what is going on here? Like,
You don't use that word.
No, it's a word. I can use that if I want. Yes, I can. And yeah, I can't believe people are so open-minded. Their brains have literally fell out. Does nobody know why we had opposite sport teams and opposite bathrooms for boys and girls to protect both from one another? If they want to play some delusional game and we have to allow it, then they should have their own bathroom and their own support, their own sports. It's as simple as that. They shouldn't be allowed to women to come and shower in the boys' locker room. I don't want one of these just coming in there spoiling my young gentlemen.
Okay. Okay. We crossed
Hey,
the
what?
line.
It's a word. I can use it if I want. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can.
Not here.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, or what? Yeah. So yeah, either way, I think you guys all must have some type of mental disease, even considering this kind of thing.
Sir?
I don't understand what's going on with you guys, that we're even considering this. You guys need to go no, absolutely not, and come back to reality. Dude, you guys need to embrace God. All this kind of talk, dude, from the name of the flag, dude, it is against
Thank you,
God.
sir. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank
Yeah, don't
you.
use the R word in law.
Yeah, well, I can use whatever word I want. It's in my big old dictionary this thick. I'll get what I want in there.
Okay.
I'm not.
Laura Ackman, Chapter Chair for the Mom for Liberty Winnebago County. I live at Wisconsin. I do represent parents in your district, and I'm pretty sure your lawyer doesn't live in Oshkosh, and you still listen to him. So I would respect that you please give me that same respect. And we are a parent organization that's really trying to protect parents' rights, and you can call us extremists and all the nasty names, but that's not very professional. I would like to address this group because I think we should spend more than an hour because this is a significant change. The old Title IX-2 was 2 paragraphs, and it was meant to protect girls and women in sports and education. The new policy, the new regulations are 1,500 pages. Do you know what's in those 1,500 pages? Because if you haven't read it, then you don't understand it. And I thought your lawyer actually did a fairly good job of articulating all the finer points of what's going on. There's a lot of lawsuits out there, and until those are all run through the court system, there are risks on both sides. No one's going to deny that. Moms for Liberty wants all children protected. You currently have, your current policy protects all the transgenders, the males, the females. It protects bullying, any type of discrimination. There's not anything that's not covered in your old policy, so there's really a low risk of that. What the risk is with the new policy is it does potentially, in some instances, put the transgender student above the girls. That's what the argument is around changing Title IX from being protecting girls to now including the transgender population. Not that they shouldn't be, but there are other policies to protect them. If a transgender person wants to go into the opposite bathroom, under this law, you must let them. If a girl complains because they're not comfortable with a male naked in their locker room, she has no recourse under this new policy. And if you read the lawsuit, which I did send to this board, it clearly states from the judge that he didn't agree with the commentary from the plaintiffs. They said if a transgender child wants to use the opposite bathroom, you must let them. But if a girl is offended by that, she can go use a separate bathroom. You cannot ask the transgender person to go use a separate bathroom. How is that fair? You have girls. If they're offended and there's a naked man in their locker room, you're going to say that's okay, that they should go to a different bathroom? How many girls do you have in this school district? How many transgender do you have in this? Isn't there a different solution to that problem? That's at the heart of this. Your old policy, because this has come up in several other school districts, you are in compliance of state law 118.13 and the federal statute PI 901. Your current policy is both state and federally compliant.
Or if you could
Thank
finish
you.
up. Oh, thank you. Wow, that was great timing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What do you guys think about this situation? Should trans men be allowed in women's bathrooms? Anyways, like and subscribe to support my work.